The WNBA's attempt to secure a transformational new labor deal has collapsed at the deadline. With no new agreement and free agency in limbo, the league now faces its biggest off-season uncertainty in years. Today, we break down why the WNBA and its players' union failed to reach a new collective bargaining agreement, what status quo really means, and how this impasse could impact free agency, the 2026 season, and the future of women's professional basketball. Since late 2025, the WNBA and the Women's National Basketball Players Association, WNBPA, have been negotiating a new CBA. The goal, a deal that boosts player salaries, expands revenue sharing, and modernizes labor conditions for a league in a growth phase. The existing agreement was extended multiple times, first from October 31st to November 30th, then to January 9th, 2026, to allow more negotiation time. But once the January 9th deadline passed, both sides failed to ratify a new deal or agree to another extension. At 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on January 9th, the latest CBA extension expired without a new contract. Neither the WNBA nor the Players' Union agreed to extend or replace it. Rather than triggering a work stoppage, this outcome ushered in what's known as a status quo period, meaning the old contract terms remain temporarily in effect while negotiations continue. Players in the league agree to keep talking, but there is no signed new agreement and no CBA extension on the books. At the heart of the impasse are deep disagreements over compensation and revenue distribution. The Players' Union pushed for a significantly larger share of league revenue and structural changes tied to long-term growth. The league wanted to maintain stricter salary controls and financial safeguards tied to net revenue. Sources indicate the union has been frustrated by a slow league response to its detailed proposals, leading to public accusations that the league was running out the clock. Status quo means the prior CBA's rules continue to apply even though the contract expired. Teams and players are still bound by the old agreement for now, and the league remains operational. Importantly, there is no immediate strike from players. There is no lockout from the league, but either side could initiate one if talks collapse further. This status quo also affects key off-season processes like free agency and expansion planning. With no new CBA to establish updated salary caps or free agency rules, the league and union have discussed a moratorium, a temporary pause on the start of free agency until a new deal is ratified. Without that moratorium in place, teams could technically begin issuing qualifying offers to free agents. But with no agreed salary framework yet, many teams are expected to delay such offers. This uncertainty places free agency in limbo. Players and teams can't fully plan without knowing new financial parameters. Breanna Stewart, WNBPA Vice President and star forward, confirmed there would be no extension at the deadline and emphasized continued good faith negotiation. The Players' Union publicly criticized the league for what it called undervaluing player contributions and lacking urgency. From the league side, officials say they remain committed to reaching a deal that increases salaries and supports long-term growth, even as talks continue without a signed CBA. This negotiation failure comes at a pivotal moment for the WNBA. The league has seen rising public interest, growth in viewership, and increased commercial value. Yet labor relations have lagged behind expectations. The failure to secure a new CBA by deadline stresses the gap between revenue growth and structural bargaining realities. A prolonged status quo could compress off-season calendars, delay or complicate free agency, impact expansion plans for new teams, strain relationships with players and fans. The union's strategy, including authorizing a strike if needed, signals that labor leverage remains intact but not yet decisive. The WNBA and its players have far from reached a new labor deal. With the deadline gone and negotiations still underway, the league operates under status quo. For now, free agency logistics remain unclear, and the 2026 season hangs in the balance unless a new CBA is ratified soon. Subscribe for updates on this story as negotiations continue, and leave your thoughts on what the WNBA should prioritize next in the comments.